Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have our next speaker up on stage with me. Welcome to Laurie. Thank you so much for being here.
Pleasure.
He's going to speak to you guys on labor in the cannabis industry. Will also be about a 20-minute talk, and then he will be available on the side of the stage afterwards should you have anything to ask him. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Guys, thank you so much for having me. As you mentioned, my name is Laurie Kemper. I am the co-owner of Ninth Wave. We are a cannabis recruitment agency specializing in servicing the cannabis and hemp market. We've been involved in the industry for about 4 years, but I have personally been involved in the cannabis community for the last 10 years. And what I came to realize when we started this business is there was no one actually doing proper labor brokerage for these cannabis facilities and offering them kind of services that they need from start to finish. So I'll be taking you guys through what we offer as a business and also try and offer you guys some insights for those of you that are looking to start a commercial facility on how you can go about doing your staffing. So let's jump right into it. So Ninth Wave provides staffing and business solutions to the South African cannabis and hemp industry, and we've now also been traversing into neighboring countries. So we started initially as a recruitment company, but we came to realize that some of our clients needed some more extra services that we decided to onboard. So we have also started a consultancy where we can provide specialized consultants for cannabis or hemp facilities. One of our top consultants, RPF Loop, is actually right here in the crowd. He'll be chatting to you guys at 3 o'clock regarding hemp. So we've been doing this for the last couple of years, so I want to share some insights as to what we've found in the last couple of years engaging with a wide variety of facilities across the country. So we offer permanent staffing solutions, obviously from the entire value chain. So we do from your head growers to your floor cleaners, your HR, your marketing, everything in between. We also do part-time staffing. We do believe that some facilities do not necessarily have the cash flow to be able to support a full-time staffing complement from day one. So we try and be as malleable with regards to where the facility is in their current state of operation and also their cash flow, because cash flow is a major problem within this industry. We also provide white and blue collar operations, especially with regards to the day laborers. What we've come to find is a lot of facilities just require someone to come in for the day, help with a specific task, and then get out the way. So we've kind of managed to be able to put together a database of candidates that are able to do that. On the drop of a hat, I've had facilities phone me literally a couple of hours on the day prior and say, listen, I need 4 guys on my site tomorrow morning for XYZ, and luckily we have the know-how and the database to be able to do that. Because unfortunately cannabis is an ever-changing environment, and we try and be as accommodating to these potential pitfalls that our clients may face. We also do specialized consultancy, as I previously mentioned, and that is both for cannabis and hemp. So if a facility is sitting with a specific individual problem, they can call us. We can try and find someone who's best suited for that specific output. We can have them work there on a contract basis. That person will come in, fix whatever needs to be fixed, and then they're on their way. I've had facilities contact us and asking for a geneticist to fix their mothering room. So I would send one of our top guys there for 3 months. They would go there, they would fix everything, they would get paid on a monthly basis, and then they'll be on their merry little way, and the facility is better off for it. It didn't cost them an arm and a leg, but we did manage to save their whole mother room, and now they're a fully functioning facility, so everyone walked away quite happy. Also, we came to the realization that a lot of people that work in the cannabis space aren't necessarily as adverse to the different value chains within cannabis. So we also offer training for more of the corporate people found within these facilities. So we are able to bring people to your facility and train you on any aspect of your business that you are still a little bit unclear of, which we think is an amazing value add, because we want to upskill our clients as we service them. The more they know about cannabis and the more they know about their business internally and externally, the better off everyone is. And then we also, like I previously stated, we do offer on-site assistance as well. So what we try to do is kind of be as malleable as possible to the ebb and flow of what this industry offers, and so far it's been working quite well. So we only work with individual vetted facilities. We go through a very stringent vetting process before we actually onboard the client to make sure that our risk mitigation, not only for ourselves but also for our candidates, is as low as humanly possible. That would usually involve asking for CIPC documentation, a separate registration documentation, proof of funding. There's a whole checklist that we usually send our clients on top of the documentation that we send them to sign, just to make sure that everyone knows what they're buying into and what is expected from both parties. We believe also that employee diversity is a vital aspect to the success of a business. Cannabis is a market where people from all walks of life consume this product, want to work with this product, and want to be part of this community. So it's very important for us to kind of relay that to non-cannabis people, to explain to them that this is a passion-driven industry and you want to work with people that really love working with the plants. In this crowd here, I have two of my friends who are senior growers, and they can tell you anyone who spends 10 hours in the blistering heat in the greenhouse needs to be there because they want to be there. It's one of the most labor-intensive industries you can ever work in, so creating a great working environment and incentivizing your staff is a pivotal key to success. I've spoken to numerous facilities across the country that have these beautiful presentation decks where they ask for all this kind of money but no money for staffing. And for me, it's kind of the logic of you're asking to build a Mercedes-Benz factory, but you want to put a Honda mechanic inside that factory and you still expect the Mercedes-Benz to come out on the other side. It's not going to happen. Your staff is an inherent part of the success of your business. And the more people need to realize that, the better, because a lot of facilities have really gone under by not taking into account what staff they need and what these guys need to be paid for their time. So what only are we focusing on? We offer the following services for both cannabis and hemp through Ninth Wave. So we try and really offer whatever our clients need, in whatever phase they are within the business. We try and be as malleable as possible because that is what this industry requires. It requires malleability. It requires you to move on the brink, to pivot when anything goes wrong, and to be there to assist these clients when they're going into full panic. So we do obviously all the process of compliancy, we do site selection and analysis, we do all your product research and development for cannabis and hemp. We can do on-site and off-site training. We're in collaboration with a company called PSL Training. We have a campus located in the south of Johannesburg that we are now converting into an agricultural training college, where we will be running courses that teach people about how to work in the industry, like how to actually do proper commercial cultivation for both cannabis and hemp. We currently have an NQF Level 2 course for hemp production and an NQF Level 4 course for cannabis production, where you stay on site on our campus. We have accommodation, we have 3 meals a day, and it's a wonderful learning environment for you to teach, to learn from other like-minded people, and just be in an amazing plant-based environment. We also do product optimization and genetic selection, which is a very important thing. A lot of companies are just buying genetics left, right, and center, both cannabis and hemp-wise, without doing the proper homework on that genetic. Climatization or acclimatization is a very big thing when it comes to cannabis and hemp, and I think a lot of companies forget that. So we really want to assist them from the get-go to get the optimal harvest out as soon as possible. We also build propagation guides, production planning, feasibility. We do a risk mitigation to see if what you're trying to do is feasible. We do see there's still a lot of companies that want to go into CBD cultivation, so we really want to show them there are other more lucrative avenues for you to go into besides CBD. And then we also do designing of hemp storage and processing systems. Because hemp is completely in its infancy, we have a serious skill shortage. I thought it was hard to find cannabis growers. It's even harder to find hemp growers, because it hasn't been done in this country. So there's a finite amount of skill that we need to distribute as evenly as possible to as many people as possible. We also do the development of hemp research programs, we assist with all-tech agreements for both cannabis and hemp, and then we obviously do facility staffing and consultation. So what we've come to find, sorry, this is getting a bit. So between my partner and I, we have more than 17 years of recruitment and placement experience. I've been personally in the cannabis industry for more than 10 years. We have management experience, and we luckily have a very wide network within the market. Because I come from the culture, we really do have an extensive network of really top-level guys who've been in this industry for quite some time, and we vet them to the best of our abilities. Unfortunately, we live in an industry where people can lie to you, so we go out of our way to vet that specific candidate through as many networks and channels as we need to find out who they really are before we even present them to our clients. And unfortunately, the majority of guys with the skill sets do come from the black market, so we try and kind of bridge that and see how we can place them in a commercial setting where their skills can still be applied adequately. On top of that, we'll be looking at the different kind of placements. So we built a database over the last 3 or 4 years where we can pretty much supply clients. So it's going to make me do one after the other. So I know my good colleague Jeff touched on most of these points in his previous presentation, but I just wanted to show you guys that we really focus on exploring the whole value chain of cannabis, because we believe that your staff Every single staff member is important because they all are inherently working towards the goal of creating the best possible product on that facility. Even if they aren't working with the plant directly or indirectly, everyone kind of needs to have the same company ethics and company morale to build the best facility possible. So we currently supply pretty much everything through the entire value chain for cannabis on all levels, part-time, full-time, or on a contract basis. And that's why we believe that assisting clients from the get-go with getting the right core staff in can really save you a lot of time and money. We don't expect people to hire a lot of people initially, but we try and build it as phased out as possible, where we can sit with the client, look at their budget, look at their timelines, and we provide the staff as it's required through the phases of the project. So our short-term placements is something that has kind of popped up heavily in the last year because, as I said, there's a lot of factors within the cannabis facilities that kind of happen in the Spurs notice. Something breaks, something goes wrong, someone is sick. So we're constantly trying to be as on top of everything as possible. That the client is able to call us, say, listen, I have an emergency, I'm short-handed, can you please send someone ASAP? And we can. Because unfortunately that plant does not care about your scheduling mishap. It doesn't care that your 2 workers are sick. That plant is on constant attention and requires constant detailing. So we want to be able to offer that to our clients at the brink of life. And we also do the exact same vetting process with our temporary staff as we do with the permanent. We go through multiple interviews, we meet them in person, we try and find out what their passion is behind the plant, because the majority of people want to work in this industry based on the passion, not the financial remuneration. They want to work because they love working with the plants, and those are the kind of people that you want within your facility. I have personally been to numerous facilities where as soon as you walk onto the facility, you can immediately feel that this place wasn't built by cannabis people and it's not being run by cannabis people. There's a certain energy in the air. I can't explain it. It may seem very esoteric, but it really is. You can really feel when a company culture is inherently instilled in a cannabis facility because it is labor intensive, guys. This is one of the hardest things to do ever. So you want to create a company culture where guys really want to come to work and they're incentivized when they perform. It's a big, big thing. And underpaying these guys will ultimately lead to an inferior product. And then all the work that you've put in, all the investment money, all the time and effort would be moot. So we really want to incentivize guys to really focus on building a beautiful community culture within your business and hiring the right people at the right time. So our contract opportunities, we are able to pretty much jump in the middle of any cycle, any operation. We're trying to basically fit into the current structure of the business without disrupting it. So if you have a set problem, we work on it on the side while your current management team still goes on the way they were doing without disrupting the daily flow of the facility itself. So we really try and kind of get to the bottom of what the problem is within the facility and how can we fix it with the least amount of time and the least amount of resources. That ultimately is the big thing, because cash flow, like I previously stated, is an absolute game changer in this industry. If you don't have cash flow, you're not going to make it. So wow, okay. So what the benefits are of doing placements through us than doing just a general placement on a Facebook ad or something is you will get access to a reliable source of temporary and contract staff with all the necessary skills and experience that you may require. We really go out of our way to try and find specialists that can help throughout the entire value chain. Because that's what people tend to forget. They think a commercial facility is just a bunch of guys playing in a greenhouse, and it's not. It's a fully fledged business that has a full front end and a full back end, and they need to work in total cohesion with one another, otherwise there will be a ripple effect within the facility itself. And there's way too much at stake for that kind of problem to arise. So we try and investigate where there's shortcomings within your facility and how we can assist in the most effective and cost-effective way possible. Sorry guys. So you will also experience reduced employer liability as candidates are employed through us. So what we also have come to find is majority of facilities don't want to go through the schleck of doing the HR, doing the payroll, doing the payments. So ultimately, we offer the service where the growers are still employed by us. We handle all the paperwork, we handle all the management, we send you an invoice at the end of the month for the hours that they did work, and we handle pretty much everything else. And a lot of facilities have actually geared towards that because it's one less thing that they have to worry about. And the nice thing as well is our candidates will only speak to the facility on operational matters. Everything else is handled through us. So that grower or that extractor or that compliance manager can only focus on operational outputs and not be tied into any drama that might be associated with this whole operation.
So we try and have our candidates just focus on what they need to do, and we as Ninth Wave will pretty much handle everything else from an administration perspective. And it's really been very beneficial for all parties. So what I want to, the key takeaways I want to discuss with you guys pretty much is, you have to invest in your staff, guys. 72% of most capital spent in most industries goes towards staffing. So there's no point in you asking for all this money for this beautiful facility, but you do not have the adequate people to actually run it effectively. You will lose your money, and that's what we're trying to mitigate. We also want you to really understand that the entire value chain matters. You can't go out of your way to find the best growers in the world, but everyone under them is below standard. You need to have one cohesive movement of people working in that facility with the same level of ethics, passion, and enthusiasm and energy. If you have a twinkle in that, you will inherently feel it in the way that your facility runs. We also want you to be curious. There's a lot of people who start within this industry and they think they know everything. You don't. We don't even know everything. So we want to work with people that are asking questions, that want to understand more about their business. No one wants to walk into this industry and just be a one-up. No one is going to take you seriously. So it's very important for you, whether you're building a facility or you're working at a facility, to really understand the ins and outs of how this business works. Because it's only going to get more hectic and you're only going to be more busier by every harvest that goes in. We also want to implore people to not try and do everything yourself. I have met people that have tried to build facilities by themselves and it's impossible. There is just too many things for you to take into account. So what we usually do is we bring on staff that can assist with certain verticals of your license process. So we bring on a quality assurance specialist, we bring on a responsible pharmacist part-time, and they assist you in building all the different verticals for your senior staff. So once the facility starts, we'll look at all your senior staff and we'll place them. They will then get upskilled, and once they're ready, then we look at your medium staff and then eventually your juniors. So it's not to flush your cash flow immediately, it's to get you what you need at the time that you need it. And that, we believe, is the way that most facilities will survive, because like I said, cash flow is really a big thing in this industry. We also want you to build a good company culture, guys. These guys live and breathe for your crop. So the least you can do is make sure they work in a fun environment, a safe environment, an environment where they're upskilled. It's very important that they love what they do. I recently placed a couple of juniors at a facility in Gauteng, and the way those kids smiled made me feel like $1 million, because they're finally where they want to be. They've been dreaming about working in a commercial facility, and now they're there. And they're working for a grower that actually cares about them, and they care about him. And when I spoke to the head grower, he said he's so happy because these guys really want to work. They're not bitching about the heat or whatever. They'll work because they've been dreaming about this moment for 3-4 years. Everyone watches the Super Bowl, but not everyone gets to play in the Super Bowl. And that's kind of the logic where you're working off. And then upskillment of your staff is incredibly important, guys. It is one of the most important things that you can do in this industry. You want your staff to stay with you. What people tend to forget is there's over 500 applications for cannabis licenses in this country, and there's only a finite amount of growers. So if you're not treating him well, someone else will. And there'll be hundreds more facilities popping up. That's why I am more adamant to keep my staff happy than the facilities. Because those guys are the bread and butter that will make that facility work. And that's why you need to treat them with gold. You need to incentivize them when they do something great. Look at any head grower. They don't have a life. They literally live on that site. Doesn't care if it's a Sunday, doesn't care if it's your birthday, they are there. So the least you can do is incentivize them accordingly. And then everyone has to have the same goal. This for me is incredibly important, guys, and I've seen this on facilities where they've really tried to instill that way of thinking, that even if you're not working with the plant, you still have to give your best, because every aspect matters. It all leads to that whole facility producing the best product possible, and that is the end goal. Even if you work in accounting or packaging or whatever, your number one goal is do it to the best of your ability, because it will all count towards the final quality product. And also what I wanted to say is, guys, budget for the unknown. There are so many things that happen on a cannabis facility that you didn't even account for when you initially started. So it's very good for you to kind of have a modeling structure where you have some cash flow that can sort out any menial problem that you may face. I can't exactly tell you what it is, but it is always better to have that backup and not use it than not have it at all. So when you guys are applying for funding, make sure you guys have a kind of a safety pocket, if you will. And then ultimately, guys, the number one thing I want to say is award performance. If these guys are going, if these staff members are going out of their way and going the extra mile and they're really pushing it, they're really trying their best, you need to show them that you see that. The last thing you want is your staff member to feel like an appliance. They're not an appliance. They're part of the family. It's a very family-based methodology as to how you go about a cannabis facility, because everyone thinks it's all flashy. It's one of the hardest things ever. I once asked one of my clients if I could please join my juniors in working in a greenhouse for the day, and I almost died. It's the hardest, most labor-intensive thing you could ever do, and it gives you perspective. I actually implore anyone who wants to start a cannabis facility to please go work 10 hours in a blistering hot greenhouse and tell me that those growers do not deserve every cent they ask for. Please, I dare anyone, because that made me realize how much time and effort actually goes into this plant. Everyone's very quick to smoke the bud, but no one knows how much effort it takes to grow the bud. And that's the key to ensure. So ultimately, guys, if I can instill one thing to you, is that if you guys are going into the cannabis industry, staffing is one of the most important things, and it cannot be overlooked. Really, I've seen facilities make or break it based on those methodologies. Make sure you pay them properly, make sure they have proper benefits, make sure they have staff that want to work together. Having a blended company culture is amazing, because that's what makes cannabis amazing. We are a blended culture, all coming together for one common thing. So ultimately, staff is king. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys did learn a little something from me. If you guys want to chat to me, I'll be available here on the side. I do have business cards with me. Yeah, thank you guys so much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.